Leah and I have had a pretty rough start to our trip in America, but this week we sort out our legal situation and we give our first impressions of the United States of America from a Canadian perspective. Okay, so today is the day we go to the court to ask them to give me forgiveness. So I'm trimming my beard using my iPhone in this parking lot.
That makes it really sound like dirtbags.
So today we're not hoping for anything in particular because we don't want to get our hopes up, but this could go any way really. This could be like they dismiss it entirely. It could be just a fine. It could be much worse. They could decide that this is gonna go really badly for me, and we have no idea. We're just gonna go in and sort of hope for the best. I have some questions about a citation that I received last week.
So your initial appearance is scheduled, it's on your citation, that's when you would enter a plea. So if you're pleading not guilty, then it would move along the path of going towards a trial, whether that be a jury trial or a judge trial, either of those, that would be where you would...
See, what he's wondering is if they're gonna do lewd conduct. I mean, it's a big deal.
So great, $1,500 for a retainer.
Yeah.
And then
bill hourly at $225.
Okay, so we just got off the phone with we called 3 different lawyers.
But with this guy, Caleb sounds very capable, and we're gonna be able to see him this afternoon.
What we heard from kind of both of them is that Whitefish is known for ticketing tourists for this kind of thing.
And then, even the lawyer that we talked to was like, yeah, I know this officer. Didn't say anything else, but just like, I know this officer, yada yada. And we're like, cool. So I feel like this officer, maybe in particular, does this quite often.
This is such a frustrating process.
If you don't have the time, the resources, the money that we have, like,
this would be devastating.
It would bankrupt you.
This would ruin your life.
Oh yeah, you'd have to take time off work to go to the court to do this. Like, it's really frustrating.
Probably best if we just stay here until we figure out what's going on.
Like I said, I'll drop what I'm doing.
All right, well, we just sat down with our lawyer to talk about how this is gonna go or how it's not going to go. He seems to be confident that it's going to be resolved relatively easily because apparently this happens quite a bit here in Whitefish. So we're just getting out $1,500 US to give to him as a retainer.
I feel like a drug dealer. I have so much cash, and I had to do 3 withdrawals.
Oh my God.
To get out $1,500.
Well,
I have to call
stressful.
my bank and be like, hey guys, it is actually me who took out the $1,500, and I had to pay $4 each transaction because that's the maximum I could take out.
Well, kind of in jest, I said, I'd like to get them moving, otherwise they're going to be sleeping in their Prius.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Like playing the Prius.
It's the court day today.
This is my court outfit.
The only thing I would suggest outfit-wise, obviously, no sunglasses.
No sunglasses.
Yeah, get your mirror. Don't need to have them on your head. Too casual.
Too casual. We go back to your office to get... All right, now this is obviously not the most ideal situation, but in order to help us manage the situation, we have to thank today's sponsor, which is Skillshare. Here, do the Skillshare intro bit. Do you know what it is?
Skillshare is an amazing online learning platform where you learn from incredible people how to do incredible things.
They have literally thousands of classes, so you should definitely check them out. That was great.
Right? I think that was pretty good.
Now, the costs of a legal court case is not something that you account for on a trip like this, but thankfully we are working while we're on the road documenting our experience, and we were only able to do that because of the skills that we've gained to make these videos. Now, Skillshare has an amazing course called iPhone Filmmaking, which gives you kind of the basics of how to do this. You know, you can take the phone in your pocket, which you probably have, and you can get started on making videos for yourself, and maybe you do it because it's fun, or maybe you do it because you want to turn it into a career. Gaining new skills that help you do the things that you want to do in the world is never a bad investment. And that's why we're so stoked that Skillshare sponsors our content. They help us make stuff for free for you. So if you are interested in checking them out, there'll be a link down in the description where the first 1,000 people get a free trial of Skillshare. Have you just been standing there the whole time?
Yeah. Yay, Skillshare.
Hey team, we are here in Glacier National Park. Pretty well, as soon as we finished at the courthouse, we got in the car and drove here immediately and turned off the cameras.
Off the cameras, no more cell reception. Just wanted to hike and camp and be in the woods, what we intended to do while we were in Montana.
Instead of being stuck in Whitefish.
For a week.
Yeah. So we are going to talk about the court case and everything that happened, but obviously we want to, you know, get on with our lives a little bit. So we're going to get out of the bugs and out on a hike. So the real reason why we came to Montana in the first place was Glacier National Park.
We purchased a park pass so that we can get into all sorts of different national parks across the US. And so far, this first one has not disappointed us.
Look at this, we're not even out of the campground yet. Right there is our campground, nestled below all these amazing mountains. Now here in the US, you have to pay to enter into the parks, which is not the same in Canada. In Canada, we actually get all of our park access for free, which is really great in a lot of ways, but I do think it's good that you are incentivizing people to enjoy nature and pay for that experience, because all of the infrastructure that makes this experience possible is really expensive, and so we don't mind paying money to be here.
Yeah. I think there's also a difference in the amount of people. There's only 30 million people in Canada, so they're like, yeah, it's free, go where you want.
That's true.
There's 330 million Americans, so it's like, okay, how are we gonna control this?
Yeah, let's manage this situation.
Yeah.
You like to drink his juice in bed.
Moose's name was Fred.
Moose's name was Fred.
He liked to drink his juice in bed.
All of you who are wondering, that was the Moose song. We're trying to make bears aware of us. Right down there is a bear.
But it's a black bear.
It's a black bear and he's eating right there. Oh my God, he just looked over at us. Oh, our wind.
He can smell us.
Yeah, our wind is.
Okay, now we gotta make ourselves big now
Okay.
and make noise so I can sing, right?
Okay, yeah. Hey-oh! Oh, wow, and he runs off.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Oh, our first bear encounter.
Wow, okay.
It was a great big moose.
There was a great big moose.
He liked to drink a lot of juice.
So we've already hiked almost 11 kilometers at this point, and we're at sort of the point where we have to start going that way.
We don't know how.
So this hike has definitely increased in
Intensity?
intensity.
Woo.
because now we are hiking up the mountain and kind of in the wrong direction for where we thought we were going to end up going. So right now, as you can see, the weather has changed very dramatically, and that is a thunderstorm. So right now we are just kind of motoring up here to try and get to what is supposed to be another lake, and hopefully around that lake is some sort of tree coverage so that we can wait out this storm. We found the lake, and it's, oh my God, holy cow. This wasn't right behind us right now. This would be so cool. That's the rain, eh? Okay. It's, the rain is back, but we're eating beans out of this can. Fortunately, the bulk of the storm didn't hit us.
Yeah. Seems to be going overhead. Levi.
Wow, look at the whole gang walking across the snowy abyss on the edge of the cliff. Oh man. I mean, if the views weren't this good, I'd be way more depressed. That was a tough 10 feet. But we're still going. There's the lake. That's where we're going. Oh. Whoa. 25 of the most hectic kilometers I've ever hiked in my life.
Ever. Wow. This lake is so cold, but I think our muscles, I think I'll be so happy with this. So we just did something that I don't think we've ever done before in our lives. We're real dirtbags, and we put chips and salsa in this can of beans, and then we ate it with a spoon. It tasted so good. I'd do it again. 10 out of 10. We have also had the pleasure of enjoying these huckleberry lemonades, which are fantastic. So good. This is our post-hike. Come down. And we are just buzzing, and also, yeah, exactly that. I'm so tired. It's just... You know what I was just saying to Levi, though? Like, we're literally sitting here looking at the top of a mountain and knowing that us and these bodies could get to the top of that mountain, of 3 mountains. I'm like, I could do anything. Not now, but I can after I eat and sleep. Oh my God, this is so precarious. We can't move too much. Stop moving. Now let's clear up the court case. On Thursday last week, we went in and did the court case, like a real court appearance. I raised my hand, I swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and I was sentenced. It was crazy. It was a wild experience to see like that amount of resources put into actually taking people to court. All of the other cases were DUIs, and Levi was the last one. I was so sweaty and nervous the whole time. Like, I soaked through my shirt, and we left, and I was like, oh, we need to get out of here. The court hearing lasted about an hour, and we were fined $250. Then, on top of that, we had to pay $720 of lawyer fees to deal with all of this. But I can only imagine how stressful that would have been to go into that courtroom not having a lawyer with you, not knowing what your options are. Yeah. Everyone else ahead of us, all 6 other people, they all had plea bargains. So I'm like, well, thank goodness we do too, because what were we gonna say?
So obviously this was not a great start to our trip in the United States. I understand that this is probably an outlier in the massive spectrum of what is considered normal for people's interactions with police in the US. So I guess our first impressions of America from a legal standpoint has been rather negative. But I think more specifically, it just feels a lot more high pressure. Like, there seems to be a lot more stakes involved with anything that you do, particularly if you do anything wrong. And obviously we paid the price for that.
On the flip side, every person that we've met,
Every individual
that we have met has been so lovely,
Yeah.
right? And as soon as we ask them about their home state, where they're from, they're so excited to tell you, like, oh, like Texas is amazing for all of these reasons. You got to go to Louisiana, Pennsylvania, and like they're listing all of these places and all of these things we need to do. And we've been invited to their houses. Like everyone that we've talked to, they're like, come over to our house when you're here. Here's my name, here's my number, here's our address. Like really warm and accommodating people so far.
Another thing that we've noticed that Americans love is freedom and religion in kind of like equal measure.
Yeah, a lot of really overt signs, bumper stickers, like you're going along the highway and there's all of these signs saying Jesus saves and this like massive billboards that
We don't have that in Canada. Like if,
there are a few places that you know is
Yeah.
like the Bible Belt, but we've driven through 2 states now and I'm like, yeah, okay, so this is pretty this is pretty common.
from religious sort of phrases to, you know, like the Trump bumper stickers to, you know, gun lobbying and abortion issues, it seems like the political and social orientations that people have to be proclaimed in like a really blatant and loud way, which I don't think we're used to as Canadians. Maybe we don't share that with our American brothers and sisters, but it's been something to get used to for sure.
Even when we're scanning through different radio stations, like I would say every third one is somebody praying, telling a Bible story,
Yeah.
all relating back to God.
I think in some ways those are kind of related, like the freedom concept and then the ability to sort of fully express your religious direction in life. I don't know, it seems like there's just a lot of loud proclaiming of your independence or something, and I guess that's what America is supposed to be all about, but I don't know, as a visitor it's pretty funny.
Levi,
I'm sorry.
most of our followers are American.
It's true
I'm
though.
interested. I guess the idea of like freedom and real like national pride, like there are a lot of people who are proud to be Canadian, but not as overtly, I think, as
No,
here in the
no.
US. Like there is a real like the fact that y'all, you know, like say a pledge to your flag and everything else like that, to me that seems like such a foreign idea. Thinking about the freedom thing though, it does seem very strange for a country that values like independence and freedom so much. We're like, no, let's just deny that to half the population to like make choices about their own bodies. That religious freedom
That's it.
is more important than our bodily autonomy and choices to do that. So I think the separation of church and state is much more pronounced in Canada, whereas here,
They're
like,
basically the same thing. from
same.
what I can
Well,
tell.
even when you go to court, you have to,
Swear
hold
before
truth, swear
God.
before God. And I'm like, what if you don't believe in God?
Now, a lot of people in our last video responded with a lot of disparaging and unfortunate things about the current state of America, and I think that that's probably not wrong. If you look at the statistics, things in America are not looking super great, but I think part of the reason why we are here is to sort of bear witness to and learn about what is happening in this country and this culture right now, because this is the most powerful country in the world.
And it has so much impact on Canada.
It's
like
crazy.
What is happening in the US, like the policies, the attitudes around things, like it impacts Canada immensely. And so having an understanding, like a first-hand understanding of it, I think is pretty important instead of, just reading headlines of what's happening here in America.
One thing I do love about America is just how they take everything to the extreme. Like that bowling alley that we went to.
I love it. America is a yes and country.
Yeah.
Where they're like, yes, laundromat, and bowling, and this. And we're going to see more and more of that. An example, we went by a store called the Mangy Moose, and they had gifts, and they had flowers, they had this beautiful garden section, and guns.
And guns.
Interesting.
Pick up a tomato plant and a rifle at the same place.
All in all, we are really enjoying our experience in the U.S. Obviously, we're going to learn a whole bunch as we go. It's been a roller coaster, but I think meeting the individual people, right? I think we forget that, like, America, it can so easily become this huge conglomerate, this big idea. When you meet people, real people, they're really lovely. They just want to talk to you, and I think we forget that quite often when we go to a new place. And Americans, you're so flippin' nice. Minus the police officer, minus him.
Minus Trey. I think we can drop his name, can't we?
Well, we don't say his last name, but Trey.
Yeah, Trey. We don't like Trey. But anyways, if you are interested in following our journey through the United States as we continue to learn and explore, remember to subscribe. And if you do, then we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.